This is Ben Babble.
Rugadh Taibhse. A Ghost is Born. A short, smart romance story for Elena by her husband. Part 1, I Am Trying to Break Your Heart. Chapter 1, One Wing. The sun had begun its descent into the horizon, casting a golden hue over the peculiar cityscape of Carcosa City. A gentle mist crept along the cobbled streets, swirling around the Gothic spires and Art Deco facades that lined the thoroughfares. The city, a curious blend of past and present, pulsed with an unspoken history, its shadows whispering secrets of days long gone. Bennett Blackwood, an art director with a penchant for the esoteric, wandered the streets of his childhood, each step stirring memories that were both comforting and disconcerting. He passed through the Felborn district, where the echoes of his youth played out in the backdrop of modern oddities that had overtaken the neighborhood. The city's charm lay in its ability to hide in plain sight, to cloak its mysteries in the mundane. Bennett found himself drawn to the Nelson Arkham Museum of Art, a cornerstone of Carcosa City's cultural tapestry. The museum stood as a sentinel, guarding the artistic soul of the city, its halls a labyrinth of ancient artifacts and contemporary masterpieces. As Bennett approached the museum, his eyes lingered on those around him, each person unknowingly telling a story more profound than the last. It was here, amidst the silent conversations of ambiguity, that he felt most at home, his mind free to roam the corridors of imagination. Ahead, the streets of Carcosa City continued their slow dance with the coming night. The country coroner's plaza, with its marquee lights flickering in the twilight, prepared for another evening of escapades, while the distant sounds of jazz and laughter spilled out from the speakeasies and cafes that dotted the landscape. In the heart of the city, where the old met the new, Lena Darkmore moved like a shadow, her presence a blend of strength and enigma. A marketer by trade, her mind was a tapestry of strategy and intuition, her past a hidden chapter that few could read. She walked with purpose, her path destined to intersect with Bennett's in a confluence of fate and curiosity. And in the spaces between the known and the unknown, Carcosa City whispered its secrets, beckoning the unwitting and the wise to unravel its mysteries. For Bennett and Lena, the city was more than a backdrop, it was a character in their unfolding story, a catalyst that would bring them together and challenge their understanding of the world. As the day gave way to night, the shadows deepened, and with them, the sense that something extraordinary was on the horizon. Carcosa City, with its veiled history and latent mysteries, was about to reveal a new chapter, one that would entangle Bennett and Lena in a dance of intrigue and romance. Chapter 2, Far, Far Away. The evening air in Carcosa City was crisp, carrying the faint sounds of jazz from a nearby speakeasy as Bennett Blackwood approached the Nelson Arkham Museum of Art. His thoughts were a mix of anticipation and curiosity, not just for the artistic treasures that awaited him inside but for the impending meeting with Lena Darkmore. Lena, meanwhile, was already at the museum, her eyes dancing over the artworks. She found solace in the silent company of paintings and sculptures, their timeless beauty offering a respite from the complexities of her marketing career. Her thoughts, however, were interrupted by the prospect of finally meeting the man who had captivated her through their intriguing exchanges in the personal ads of the Carcosa Chronicle. As Bennett entered the museum, he scanned the crowd, searching for the face he knew only from a small, black and white photograph. Then, he saw her. Lena, standing beside a sculpture, her red curls a vivid contrast against the muted tones of the artwork. She was even more striking in person, her presence commanding yet approachable. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the bustling museum seemed to fade into the background. Bennett approached, a mix of confidence and nervous excitement in his stride. "Lena Darkmore?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "That's me," Lena replied, her voice warm and her smile genuine. "And you must be Bennett. It's nice to finally meet you in person." Their conversation began with the ease of two people who had already shared a part of themselves through written words. They talked about their favorite pieces in the museum, their comments laced with light-hearted banter and insightful observations. As they moved through the gallery, their laughter echoed off the walls, blending with the hushed tones of other visitors. Lena's passion for art was evident, and Bennett found himself drawn to her enthusiasm and intelligence. There was a natural chemistry between them, a connection that seemed to extend beyond their shared interests. It was during a discussion about a particularly thought-provoking Rubenesque painting that Lena playfully nudged Bennett, pointing to a small, seemingly misplaced artifact on the floor, far from any display. "Is that a penguin?" she said, her eyes sparkling with intrigue. Bennett walked over, examining the artifact. It was an intricate carving, out of place amid the classical art. "It looks almost otherworldly," he mused. Lena nodded, her gaze still fixed on the small figure. "Our own little mystery," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "Do you think someone left it here?" As they pondered the artifact's enigmatic origins, their conversation drifted from the playful to the profound, weaving through stories of their lives in Carcosa City, their hopes, and their dreams. In the midst of their deepening connection, Lena absent-mindedly picked up the artifact, her fingers tracing its intricate patterns. The little penguin figure, though initially just a point of curiosity, soon became an unspoken bond between them, a symbol of the mysteries they were unraveling together. It was only later, as they left the museum, that Lena realized she still had the artifact, tucked away in her purse as if it had always belonged there. Outside the museum, the night had deepened, and the streets of Carcosa City were bathed in the glow of new gas street lamps. Bennett and Lena walked side by side, their conversation flowing effortlessly. The city around them felt alive with possibilities, and the mystery of the artifact was just one of many they would explore together. Chapter 3: Magnetized. The night air in Carcosa City was filled with a sense of expectancy as Bennett and Lena found themselves seated in a cozy corner of a speakeasy called Joseph Pepper's, a hidden gem known only to the city's longtime residents. The soft hum of a peculiar jazz blended with the murmur of conversations around them, creating an intimate atmosphere. Lena, her eyes alive with mischief, playfully swirled the drink in her hand. "So, Mr. Blackwood, I must admit, I've been quite adventurous in my time in Carcosa. But there's something about this mystery, and you, that feels like a new kind of adventure." Bennett, taken aback by her candor, couldn't help but smile. Lena's forthrightness was refreshing, and her vibrant energy was infectious. He had always been more reserved, his past relationships never quite reaching the depths he yearned for. But with Lena, he sensed something different, something deeper. "I've always believed that the best adventures are the unexpected ones," Bennett replied, his voice tinged with a newfound excitement. "And I'm looking forward to seeing where this one leads us." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, filled with playful banter and shared laughter. Lena's quick wit and open demeanor drew Bennett out of his shell, while his thoughtful responses and genuine interest in her stories made her feel seen in a way she rarely experienced. As the night deepened, so did their connection. Lena leaned in closer, her eyes locked onto Bennett's. "You know, I usually have a pretty good read on people, but you, Bennett Blackwood, are full of surprises." Bennett's heart skipped a beat at her proximity, her presence enveloping him in a warmth he hadn't expected to find. "And you, Lena Darkmore, are as mysterious and intriguing as that penguin in your purse," he quipped, his words laced with affection. Their laughter mingled with the music, creating a melody all their own. It was a dance of words and glances, each exchange drawing them closer together, their initial attraction blossoming into something more profound. The topic eventually circled back to the mysterious artifact. Lena's eyes sparkled with excitement. "What do you say we tackle this mystery together? It could be our own secret escapade." Bennett didn't hesitate. "I can't say investigating a strange cosmic penguin figure was on my agenda this weekend, but I can't think of anyone else I'd rather do it with." As they left Joseph Pepper's, the cool night air of Carcosa City enveloped them. Hand in hand, they walked through the streets, lost in conversation and the thrill of their newfound connection. The artifact's mystery was a path leading them not only into the depths of the city's secrets but also into the heart of their unfolding romance. But as they delved deeper into the night, unknown to them, shadowy figures lingered in the periphery, their intentions as mysterious as the artifact that had brought Bennett and Lena together. Part 2, On and On and On. Chapter I, Summer Teeth. The days following their meeting at Joseph Pepper's saw Bennett and Lena drawn together by an irresistible force, a blend of romantic intrigue and the enigma of the penguin artifact. They found themselves exploring Carcosa City, not just as guides to each other's past but as companions in a journey that was rapidly becoming deeply personal. One afternoon, they found themselves at a quaint cafe near the west port of the city, a spot that held special significance for Bennett. "I used to come here to sketch," he shared, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. "It's where I feel closest to the pulse of the city." Lena listened intently, her gaze fixed on Bennett. She was captivated not just by his stories, but by the man himself. His gentle nature and depth of character were qualities she had long sought but never found until now. "I love seeing this side of you," she said, her hand reaching across the table to gently squeeze his. "It's like discovering a hidden puzzle piece to this city I never realized was missing." Their conversation flowed seamlessly from lighthearted banter to deeper, more meaningful exchanges. Laughter came easily, but so did moments of quiet understanding. The more time they spent together, the more they unraveled about each other and the stronger their connection grew. Later, as they walked through the streets of Carcosa City, Lena's curiosity about the artifact resurfaced. "Do you think it's just a toy or discarded relic, or is there something more otherworldly about it?" she pondered aloud. Bennett, ever the pragmatist, considered her question. "There's certainly more than meets the eye. But whether it's something from our city or something more, I'm not sure. What I am sure of, though, is that I want to figure out its secrets, with you." Their investigation took them to various parts of the city, from the historic Zona Rosa district to the bustling downtown market. Each location revealed a new clue, a piece of the puzzle that was as mystifying as it was alluring. And with each discovery, their relationship deepened, turning from initial attraction to something more profound. It was during a visit to the Piper area, known for its legendary views and endless speedways, that they encountered an old bookstore. Inside, among the musty tomes and ancient manuscripts, they found references to an artifact strikingly similar to theirs. The description spoke of an object of power, one that was said to influence the very fabric of reality. As they delved deeper into the book's contents, their hands touched, sending a jolt of electricity through them both. They exchanged a look, one that spoke volumes. In that moment, it wasn't just about the thrill of the mystery, it was about the thrill of finding someone who matched their soul's rhythm. Their days continued in this pattern, exploring the city, unraveling the artifact's mystery, and, most importantly, exploring the depths of their feelings for each other. Carcosa City, with its shadowy corners and whispered secrets, had become the backdrop to their burgeoning romance, a romance that was quickly becoming the most profound mystery of all. Chapter 2: She's Ajar. As the mystery of the penguin-shaped figurine wove its way through the tapestry of Carcosa City, so did the romance between Bennett and Lena. With each passing day, their connection deepened, an unspoken promise lingering in every glance, every touch. One evening, they found themselves at Lena's apartment after a day spent chasing leads and unraveling clues. The city outside buzzed with life, but inside, a different kind of energy pulsed between them, an electric mix of anticipation and longing. Lena, with a playful glint in her eye, poured 2 glasses of wind, handing one to Bennett. "To us," she toasted, her voice low and sultry. "To mysteries and the magic of new beginnings." Bennett clinked his glass against hers, his gaze never leaving her face. "Salancha, to us," he echoed, feeling a surge of emotion that went beyond the excitement of their investigative escapades. As they sipped their wine, the conversation flowed effortlessly, but there was a palpable tension in the air, a desire that had been building since their first meeting. Lena moved closer to Bennett, her every move deliberate and full of intent. "Bennett," she whispered, her breath warm against his ear. "I want you to know, I've never felt this way before. There's something about you that's intoxicating." Bennett turned to face her, his heart racing. He had always been cautious with his emotions, but with Lena, everything felt different, more intense. "Lena, being with you, it's like discovering a part of myself I never knew existed. I want to explore this, with you." Their lips met in a kiss that ignited the spark between them into a roaring flame. It was a kiss full of promise, of uncharted territories and shared discoveries. As they deepened the kiss, the world around them faded away, leaving only the two of them, lost in the moment. The kiss turned into a dance of desire, each movement and touch an exploration of the passion they had for each other. They moved together seamlessly, a perfect harmony of longing and fulfillment. As they crossed the threshold into a more intimate embrace, Lena led Bennett to her bedroom. The city lights cast a soft glow through the window, enveloping them in an ethereal light. Their clothes fell away, piece by piece, revealing the raw vulnerability and deep trust they shared. In the dimly lit ambience of Lena's bedroom, the air was thick with anticipation. Bennett's heart raced as he gazed into Lena's eyes, a sea of emotions swirling within him. He reached out, his fingertips barely grazing her skin, a touch as light as a feather yet charged with unspoken promises. As his fingers traced the contours of her face, down her neck, and along her shoulders, Bennett felt a rush of colors flood his vision, a kaleidoscope that only he could see. Each touch brought forth a burst of yellow and pink, vibrant and pulsating. It was as if Lena herself was a canvas, and his fingers were painting a masterpiece of sensation and emotion. Lena closed her eyes, a soft sigh escaping her lips. The light touch of Bennett's fingers sent waves of pleasure cascading through her, each gentle caress igniting a spark deep within. She leaned into his touch, her body responding to the rhythm of his exploration with an intensity that left her breathless. Bennett was mesmerized by the reactions his touch elicited. The synesthetic experience was overwhelming, a symphony of colors and sensations that intertwined with Lena's reactions. He felt as though he was experiencing their connection on a transcendent level, each stroke of his fingers deepening their bond. Lena, caught in the tide of ecstasy, reached out to Bennett, her hands exploring the broad expanse of his back, feeling the strength and warmth beneath his shirt. Their movements were a dance of desire and discovery, each touch a testament to the depth of their feelings. As Bennett's hands continued their tender exploration, the world around them seemed to dissolve into a blur of colors and sensations. The connection between them transcended the physical, entering a realm of emotional intensity that neither had known before. The lead up to their union was a journey in itself, a path paved with desire, trust, and a profound connection that was both otherworldly and deeply human. Their exploration was not just of each other's bodies but of their hearts and souls, a journey that promised to be as transformative as it was passionate. As they finally came together, it was with a sense of completeness, a union that was as inevitable as it was beautiful. The colors that danced in Bennett's vision melded with the ecstasy they both felt, creating an experience that was truly out of this world. Chapter 3: Reservations. In the quiet aftermath of their intimate night, Lena and Bennett lay entwined, the dawn casting a soft light through the window. Their conversations soon turned to the penguin and the enigmatic path it had set them on. As they planned their day, Bennett suggested visiting some of the city's more unusual sites, hoping they might uncover further clues about the artifact's origins. "There's the old red bridge," he said thoughtfully. "It's known for the love locks, but there are legends about its past that few remember." Lena, intrigued, agreed. They started at the bridge, its structure adorned with countless locks, symbols of love and commitment. Daniel and Erica. Douglas plus Christian. Alaina and Benjamin. Hundreds of locks with the names of their owners. However, hidden in the engravings and forgotten stories, they uncovered references to an ancient cult that once considered the bridge a sacred site. Marked with penguin, the discovery sent a chill down their spines, hinting at a darker aspect of the artifact. Their next stop was the Dot County Lake, a place of serenity that held a special place in their hearts. As they drove around the lake, sharing a marijuana cigarette, Lena's keen eye caught sight of something unusual near the giant spillway. There, etched into the old stonework, were symbols eerily similar to the shape of the figurine. The realization that these symbols were connected to old, forgotten rituals of summoning and sacrifice unsettled them both. The final stop for the day was the Carcosa City Zoo, particularly the penguin exhibit, a place that had always brought joy and laughter to their visits. However, today they found themselves viewing the exhibit through a different lens. Hidden in plain sight amongst the informational plaques, they found a reference to a myth about creatures not of this world, creatures said to have lost a piece of themselves in our world. As the day waned, Lena and Bennett found themselves grappling with the implications of their discoveries. The artifact, once a curious mystery, now seemed to be a key to something far more ominous. "It's like we're on the edge of a void," Lena voiced her unease, "and this artifact is calling out to something in the darkness." Bennett felt it too, a sense of foreboding that grew with each revelation. "Maybe we should get rid of it," he suggested, his voice heavy with concern. "Before something happens." They found themselves at the spillway of the Dot County Lake as the sky darkened, the waters below churning ominously. As they debated throwing the artifact into the void, a sudden, unnatural wind whipped around them, and with it, whispers that seemed to emanate from the artifact itself. The wind whispered past their ears. In a moment of panic and resolve, Lena loosened her grip, and the artifact tumbled from her hand, falling into the dark waters below. They watched in horror as a brief, otherworldly glow illuminated the spillway, before the penguin figurine disappeared into the depths. Shaken, they embraced, the gravity of what they had witnessed weighing heavily upon them. The night air felt different now, charged with an energy that hinted at unseen forces at play. As they left the spillway, they couldn't shake the feeling that their actions had set something into motion, something beyond their understanding. They returned to the city, the lights of Carcosa City flickering like distant stars, unaware that their journey with the artifact was far from over. Part 3, via Chicago. Chapter 1, A Shot in the Arm. In the wake of the incident at the Dot County Lake spillway, Bennett and Lena found themselves grappling with a palpable sense of unease. The figurine, now lost to the dark waters, had left behind a trail of questions that haunted their every thought. Determined to find answers, they embarked on a relentless pursuit through the hidden archives and whispered legends of Carcosa City. Their journey led them to a reclusive historian, an old man deep within the old Underground Railroad who had spent his life studying the city's occult past. In a dimly lit room, surrounded by ancient books and artifacts beneath a perfume and candle boutique, the historian revealed the chilling truth. The penguin, he began, his voice a tremor of fear and awe, is known as the love of Mo Gra. It's an ancient conduit, a link to an elder being from a realm beyond our understanding. Lena's hand tightened around Bennett's, her eyes wide with apprehension. An elder being? She echoed, the words tasting like poison on her tongue. Yes, the historian continued, Mo Gra, a being said to exist in the spaces between the stars. The love was its means of gazing into our world, of influencing it. Whoever possesses the love, they unknowingly become the vessel for Mo Gra's will. The revelation sent a shiver down their spines. The artifact they had believed to be merely a forgotten toy was in fact a tool of cosmic machinations, a bridge to a being of unthinkable power and malevolence. Bennett, his mind racing, tried to process the implications. But we threw it into the lake, he said, a note of desperation in his voice. Does that mean we've stopped it? The historian shook his head, his expression grave. I fear it may not be that simple. The love, once awakened, seeks to fulfill its purpose. The elder being's gaze has been cast, and it may not be easily averted. As they left the historian's abode, Bennett and Lena walked in silence, each lost in their own thoughts. The city around them felt different now, as if it too was aware of the looming threat. That night, as they lay in bed, the weight of their discovery lay heavy between them. Their relationship, once a source of strength and joy, now faced its greatest challenge. The truth of the figurine had cast a shadow over their own love, a test of their bond in the face of a reality more terrifying than they ever imagined. Lena, her voice barely a whisper, broke the silence. Bennett, what if we can't stop it? What if this thing comes through? Bennett, his heart heavy with fear and resolve, took her hand. Then we face it together. We've come this far, Lena. I won't let this darkness tear us apart. We'll figure this out. I promise. As they clung to each other, the night outside grew darker, the stars obscured by a growing, unseen presence. The abyss had been gazed into, and now, it was gazing back into them. Chapter 2, Art of Almost. Bennett and Lena returned to the old historian, their minds fraught with worry about the artifact lying at the bottom of the Dot County Lake. The historian, upon hearing their tale, nodded gravely. "There is yet a way," he said, his voice low and serious. "A ritual, old as the cult that worshipped Mo-Gra. You must perform it at the spillway, to soothe the love as long as it remains beneath the waters." Armed with the ritual instructions, they made their way back to the spillway, the place where their exploration into the unknown had taken a perilous turn. The historian had warned them that the ritual would require both of their energies, a union of their wills against the darkness. As they stood at the edge of the spillway, the rusted fence creaking ominously in the wind, Lena began the ritual. She recited the ancient incantations, her voice steady despite the fear that gripped her heart. Bennett stood by her side, lending his strength to hers, feeling the air around them charged with an unseen power. Lena began, Mar Thursday solis ar bar na ton, sesame dilis fawi sholas na gili. Emogra, casual lusalas trirak, agi soilsiu emobilak go brock. Lena struggles with the strange pronunciations. I croiler na rechi, nwere chazen na real tai, fanfade me, margarda dilis, agi fairther du croy, du spirad, du mion, go deo, fata ligvid tu dame. Lena takes a deep breath before the final stanza. Ni nergo curluchile, ni lagon giare, marson sise mancio, luimogra mar threewire, agi solugach maiden, agus tu iamothianta, air sail, airngra, airturas, luchile godeo. As the ritual reached its climax, Lena, caught in the moment, leaned over the fence as she says the final words. Suddenly gust of wind, intense and unnatural, swept through, breaking the old fence. Lena lost her balance, tumbling towards the void below. In a heartbeat, Bennett's hand shot out, gripping Lena's arm with all his strength. Their eyes locked, a mix of fear and determination in their gaze. With a Herculean effort, he pulled her back to safety, holding her close as they both trembled from the close call. As they clung to each other, the waters of the spillway churned violently. A deep, guttural sound echoed from the depths, as if the lake itself was reacting to the ritual. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, everything stilled. The waters calmed, and a profound sense of peace settled over the area. They knew, without a word, that the ritual was complete. The love of Mo-Gra was content, its threat neutralized by their combined will and the ancient magic they had invoked. Exhausted but relieved, Bennett and Lena looked out over the spillway, the sun breaking through the clouds, casting a golden light over them. They had faced the unknown, had stood on the brink of the void, and had emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable. In that moment, they realized that their love was not just a source of comfort but a powerful force in its own right. They had saved each other, and in doing so, had saved Carcosa City from a fate too terrifying to contemplate. Chapter 3, You and I. In the days following the ritual at the spillway, Bennett and Lena found themselves in a Carcosa City that seemed both familiar and forever changed. They had faced the darkness, a threat beyond the realm of ordinary understanding, and had emerged victorious, their bond strengthened by the trials they had endured. As they walked through the streets of the city, the places they had visited during their investigation now held new meanings. The old red bridge, with its love locks, symbolized their commitment not just to each other but to protecting the city they loved. The Kansas City Zoo, particularly the penguin exhibit, reminded them of the love of Mo-Gra and their newfound ritual to help soothe its darker ambitions. Their relationship, once a budding romance, had evolved into something profound. They had seen each other at their most vulnerable, had held each other in the face of unimaginable fear, and had come out stronger. One evening, as they sat overlooking the city from a hill in Piper while sharing a marijuana cigarette, they reflected on their journey. "Do you think it's really over?" Lena asked, her voice tinged with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Bennett took her hand, squeezing it gently. "I don't know if it's ever really over. But I do know that whatever comes next, we'll face it together. We've been through the abyss and back. There's nothing we can't handle now." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights twinkling below, a tapestry of life continuing unabated. The love of Mograw was no longer a threat, but the mysteries of Carcosa City remained, as did the deeper mysteries of their own hearts and souls. As they made their way back to the heart of the city, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The story of the love of Mograw had come to an end, but their story was just beginning. There were more mysteries to unravel, both in the shadowed corners of Carcosa City and within the unexplored territories of their relationship. Bennett and Lena knew that their future would be filled with challenges and wonders, with moments of darkness and light. But they also knew that together, they could face anything. Their love, tested and triumphant, was a beacon that would guide them through whatever lay on the horizon. And as the city of Carcosa whispered its secrets to the night, Bennett and Lena walked hand in hand, stepping into a future filled with endless possibilities. Epilogue. Just north of the Dot County Lake, where the tranquil waters gave way to a gentle stream, two young girls played in the field. The sun was high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the landscape. The younger girl, around 7, with bright, curious eyes and a laugh that echoed through the air, chased after a butterfly, her small feet dancing over the grass. Her sister, 11, more reserved yet fiercely protective, watched over her, a smile playing on her lips. As they ventured near a drain that emptied into the stream, the younger girl's foot brushed against something partially buried in the mud. "Look!" she exclaimed, her voice a mixture of excitement and wonder. The older girl knelt beside her sister, her eyes widening as they uncovered the object. It was a penguin, intricate and otherworldly in design, pulsating with an energy that seemed almost alive. As they examined it, a mysterious gust of wind swept through the field, rustling the grass and causing the girls to shiver. The world around them seemed to hold its breath for a moment, the air charged with an unspoken secret. The older girl, sensing the importance of their find, carefully placed the artifact in her purse. "Let's take it home," she said, a hint of adventure in her voice. Hand in hand, the sisters ran through the field, their laughter mingling with the summer breeze. In the quiet field, the wind whispered once more, carrying with it the echoes of mysteries yet to be unveiled, of tales yet to be told. The end.
This has been a Ben Babel presentation. All characters and copyrights are property of Elena Peterson. Merry Christmas, Mograw.